I keep hearing over and over that 2026 is going to be a fresh start. And that's exactly where people are getting it wrong. So, this is part 3 of my series where I'm breaking down what's actually happening beneath the surface and why preparation matters more than urgency right now. I'm Sherry Moise. I'm a business astrologer and strategic advisor, and I help entrepreneurs and leaders plan, launch, and make decisions using timing, strategy, and real world data, not hype. All right, so let's dive in. So I'm not saying that folks are wrong by talking about 2026 as a 1-year numerology. That is true. But if that's all we're talking about as a fresh start, clean slate, we're not getting the full picture. Sure, many people are closing out a long cycle in 2025. And yes, there is new momentum on the horizon, but calling it a clean slate really oversimplifies what's actually happening and can lead to rushed decisions that don't hold up over time. From an astrostrategic perspective, 2026 is not a blank slate. It's a dual personality year that blends reflection and acceleration at the same time. And that distinction matters more than most conversations around this 1 year in numerology acknowledge. So let's dive in. If you've missed part 1 or part 2 of this series, you can grab those links below and get caught up. But for now, let's get on with why 2026 is not a clean slate year. So, like I said, one of the most popular narratives right now is rooted in numerology. 2025, 9-year completion year, 2026, a year of beginnings. And that framing is neat and hopeful, but incomplete. Astrologically, the first half of 2026 is still tied to reinvention, review, reflection, dissolving outdated paradigms. The second half of the year, especially after August, brings a notable shift in momentum and outward movement. That's the duality, which means this isn't a year where everyone simply decides something new and runs with it. This is a year where preparation and acceleration coexist. And if you ignore one side of that equation, things feel harder than they need to be. And I'm seeing this in real time inside my planning sessions with folks. The distinction is really clear in the conversations I'm having with clients. People aren't asking, what should I sell next? How do I grow faster? What strategy is trending right now? Instead, they're asking questions like, what actually deserves my energy in this next chapter? What am I meant to be building now versus later? What does reinvention look like for me, not in theory? Where do I need to slow down so I can move with intention? These are experienced business owners. They're not confused, they're discerning. And that's exactly why the fresh start narrative misses the mark. They are more self-sourced. And here's the truth. New beginnings look different for everyone. New is not a universal experience. For some people, a new beginning might mean launching a new offer, stepping into a more visible role, expanding what's already working. For others, new looks quieter, a new way of showing up, a new belief about yourself, a new relationship with pace and capacity, a new definition of success. This is where one-size-fits-all messaging breaks down, because you're not meant to build 2026 dependent entirely on where you are. Okay, let's fix that. You are, because what you're meant to build in 2026 depends entirely on where you are in your own business and life, and not someone flexing from the sidelines. So the blueprint matters more than the buzz. This is my take. If your strategy still relies on hype, pressure, and personality alone, 2026 will expose it. What do people want? They want grounded truth, practical support, real solutions, leaders who get it, not leaders who perform it. The vibe is now, you've walked in my shoes, you understand my reality, you can guide me because you've lived it. This is the shift that matters. Now let's talk about what this means for your strategy. Here's the part most conversations skip. You don't build a house without a blueprint. You don't pour concrete before you've done the framing. We might not know what the decor of the house will look like yet, but past cycles tell us exactly what kind of structure is required. This is where astrology becomes a strategic tool, not a prediction game. Your chart acts as the blueprint, showing you how you're designed to begin, where preparation matters more than speed, when reinforcement is required before expansion, what kind of momentum is sustainable for you. Here's a little spicy sherry truth. 2026 doesn't hand out fresh start. It asks what foundation you're actually building on. And that brings me to why timing and discernment matter more than ever. This is not a year for blind optimism or forced clarity. This is a year that rewards strategy, timing, discernment, intentional momentum. When you're clear on the foundation you're building, your audience can feel it. They know whether they're aligned with you. They know whether your offers are meant for them. They know whether you're the right guide for the season they're in. That clarity works both ways. So what comes next? I said this was a 4-part series. So inside the next piece, I'm going to go deeper into what this shift means for planning, visibility, leadership, and how momentum actually builds as we move further into 2026. But for now, keep this in mind. A new chapter doesn't begin with action. It begins with understanding the terrain. And if you're ready to get clear on your 2026 timing, if you want personalized insight instead of generic help, generic predictions, book a roadmap to results session. These focus sessions will help you understand your own personal planning cycles for 2026, clarify what deserves your energy now versus later, and build strategy that supports the way you actually work. This way, we're creating momentum without rushing or forcing outcomes. When you know the blueprint, you stop guessing. You can click the button below or the link below and take a peek and grab a session. We'll be booking out into January of 2026 right now. But understand this. Bottom line, intentional momentum beats blind acceleration every time. So part 4, we'll dive into how this shows up in planning, visibility, and leadership. All right, until next time, go out there and make some magic, my friends.